And now I'll share the screen.
A very warm good afternoon to everyone. I'm delighted to and welcome you all to today's engaging lineup of sessions in our Social Science Mastery series. Our goal is to reimagine how we approach social science, making it more meaningful, concept driven, and deeply relevant for today's learner. We have two interesting sessions lined up for the day, one starting in just few minutes and another one at 4:30 p.m. Let's start now with a powerful session on environmental ethics and citizenship, a timely and essential topic in shaping responsible, future-ready citizenship. In this session, we will be discussing on the intersections of environmental consciousness and the role of citizenship in addressing global challenges. We are honored to have with us Mr. Dr. Amit Ahuja, Associate Professor at Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, Delhi, an award winning educator with expertise in educational research, technology, and cognitive psychology. Dr. Ahuja has made remarkable contribution to teacher training and curriculum development. With over 100 MA dissertations supervised and contributions to IGNU, his work continues to inspire educators across India and beyond. We are truly honored to have you, sir, with us today. Now, without further delay, let's look at some of the housekeeping rules. So, all the participants will be muted throughout the session. Please ensure you have a pen and paper to note important information. The chat box will be open as requested by the speaker or during the Q&A round. To receive your e-certificate, do fill out the feedback form that you will receive on your registered email address after both the sessions. So, without further delay, this Dr. Amit Ahuja, over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Akriti. It's a matter of pride for me to be here with you on this platform and to deliver some views. I won't say talk or any presentation, my views on environmental ethics and citizenship. But one thing I would like to tell about my CV is that recently in the year 2024, I was honored with Shikshak Padak by IP University also. So that was my recent achievement. Well, anyways, dear friends, we have entered in this 21st century when exponential growth of technology is taking place in and around us. We are in the grip of artificial intelligence. At the end of the day, what do we want? An imperfect human filled with emotions or a perfect robot with programming? What is your choice? An imperfect human or a perfect robot? emotions, or programming. There was a movie that तेरी बातों में ऐसा उलझा जिया, released in year 2023 of Shahid Kapoor and Kriti Senan. If those who have watched this movie, they must have remembered that before the interval, people were rushing behind the technology to shake hands. And after the interval, people were rushing from the technology to make their hands free from the technology, to get rid of the technology. Another movie that I would like to mention for you people to watch is CTRL of Ananya Pandey. You will see what cost we are paying in this world. Then with side by side, I'll ask you, does development and conservation of environment go parallel, side by side, or hand in hand? We are developing roadways, highways, expressways, and so on. You can run your vehicle at the speed of 70 kilometers in Manali Hills in Himachal Pradesh. But side by side, you also face landsliding every year. Fine. In Delhi, we have made it, somebody saying voice is less. I hope Akriti voice is sufficient from my side.
Yes, sir,
Make
it's,
sure.
it's audible.
Okay. The smog event in our Delhi, in and around Delhi, has become an annual seasonal event for us, and we as teacher educators have given it as a space in our curriculum. That definitely in the month of late October or early beginning of November, we'll shut down our institutions and will adhere to online classes as before. We have to. So where we are heading? Because we have given a threat to the environment. The environment which should have been grown, nurtured through us, has been damaged by us. Of course, the main cause is pollution. Another side-by-side question that I'll ask to my friend is, what we as present generation people are going to hand over to our future generation, what kind of world we are going to give them? A polluted world and a populated world. We often say that remedy of certain diseases is this person, this thing, anything else. But the cause of all disease is population, overpopulation. Unfortunately, in our country, we don't have any population policy. We keep on breeding like animals. But do you remember there's a difference between human and a non-human species? Fine, we expect a contribution from humans also. We are growing exponentially. For example, in Delhi, we have e-rickshaw. There is no regulatory body to control them. You can buy, purchase, and run on the roads and so on. So no regulation, no policy. How can a country, big country like us, number one populated country like us, can contribute in this world? So these are the things to think about this before we start our journey. So let me uh, allow you to present. Please make sure, is this visible to you? Somebody please confirm. First slide.
No, sir, we can't
No,
see.
it's not. Okay, just a moment. That means we had come out. Somebody says, sir, volume is very low from my side, but I think लीजिए अब आपकी
Uh,
शिकायत हो गई होगी अगर ऐसा है तो now it's visible. Somebody may confirm this.
yes, sir.
So my first question to you is, ये आपका बार बहुत तंग कर रहा है मुझे. Can I, how can I reduce this? Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Now bar is removed. Thank God. तो फिर आ गया. Please. Assuming human life is of 100 years. Fine. And no birth from today onward takes place. आज के बाद किसी का जन्म नहीं होता है. And rest of the world is there. This metro, this sea, river, mountain, everything on this earth persists except us. Every bird, every creature is there except us. Then will after 100 years, can we say that this is earth or this is world? Can we say? Any wild guess? I will ask this question at the end of my presentation. Please note this. अगर एक मनुष्य की आयु अधिकतम 100 वर्ष है और आज के बाद किसी भी मनुष्य का जन्म नहीं होता है, कि आज से 100 साल बाद जब धरती पे कोई मनुष्य नहीं होगा और बाकी सब कुछ होगा जो आपके चारों तरफ है, हवा, पानी, बिल्डिंग, मेट्रो, धूल मिट्टी, सब कुछ है, केवल मनुष्य नहीं है, तो क्या इस संसार को संसार कहा जाएगा? अगर हाँ तो क्यों, और नहीं तो कैसे? ये मैं आपसे पूछूंगा। प्लीज नोट दिस। नाउ आई रिक्वेस्ट Miss Aarti to run Akriti to run this YouTube link and make sure that the audio is not on. And I request my esteemed audience to watch the video carefully and give your reflections, what it is depicting. Please, it's 4 minute video. Have patience and have watch. Yes, please start. वीडियो हैज नो वॉल्यूम, हमने ही बंद कर रखने को कहा गया है। आप देखेंगे इसे और अपने विचार बाद में बताएंगे मुझे। Yes, I'm audible now. Can
Yes,
I
yes.
request the organizers कि क्या हम थोड़ी देर के लिए अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं पार्टिसिपेंट्स को, ताकि इनके व्यूज जान लिए जाएं, क्योंकि एंड में अगर पूछा तो भूल जाएंगे।
So possibly they can raise their hand and आप select कर सकते हैं. We'll unmute them.
ओके, चलिए मैं फिलहाल बात करता हूँ। सबसे पहली बात तो ये थी, दिस इज द फोर्थ टाइम आई हैव टू से दैट audio of the video was kept mute. It was not without audio because I want you to know your views. I will let your views know later on. Keep this in mind what the video depicted. You may write the keywords to deliberate on your reflection what it was. क्योंकि अगर उसका ऑडियो ही आपको दिखा दिया तो वीडियो की कोई वैल्यू, एजुकेशनल वैल्यू नहीं रह जाती। बट आई वाज सरप्राइज वर पीपल वर कीपिंग पोस्टिंग ऑन देयर टेक्स्ट, नो ऑडियो, नो ऑडियो, व्हेन आई हैव सेड 3 times, so it stands the first time also that audio was kept mute because of there was some reason to promote learning among the learner. Don't show them the things in audio and video form. Do remember this from constructivism point of view. Show them half, let them fill other half. This is Gestalt psychology also. Anyways, well, I'm clearly Nilima Patilji. I'm well audible. Well, anyway, let me move to my next slide. What it is? Just make me sure it is visible. Yeah. What is environmental ethics? Uh,
Sorry, sir. I
it's not moving.
screen is not. No, no, sir. Screen is not visible.
Now it is
Yes, sir.
fine. Now let me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now there is a question. That is, what are human environmental ethics? Before I further deliberate on this, let me tell you the name of a lawyer, MC Mehta, Mahesh Chandra Mehta, who is a resident of Delhi State, and he's been honored with Green Avenger of India. He is the only lawyer in India who fought for environmental issues, aspects, problems with government of India. He has registered certain cases to his credit, legal cases like a Taj Mahal trapezium case and famous Delhi gas leak Kand. Very few people know. I will let you know first about Taj Mahal trapezium case. He visited Taj Mahal in the year 1984 and he found that the beautiful white marbles of the Taj Mahal were getting yellowed. And the plausible reason was their enhanced emission of sulfur dioxide, and that led to the fall of acid rains, water pollutions, because Agra is also known as Foundry Nagar. It is famous for foundry work. He filed a PIL and directly to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court led to the establishment of a working committee to gauge the reasons, and they suggested that there should be controlled emission of sulfur dioxide and other pollutants, and it led to the ban of Mathura refinery so that the harmful gases don't flow aerially towards Taj Mahal. In the year 1985, just after 1 year, in the year 1984, in December 1984, we had an infamous Bhopal gas leak Kand, that is methyl isocyanate. In the year 1985, it was oleum gas Kand in Delhi. It was near Karampura area, Motinagar area, where there is a Shriram fertilizers mill there was. It led to the death of one person also. So when the nation was struggling with Bhopal gas episode, the man, the Green Avenger, our MC Mehtaji, were fighting for us for Delhi oleum case. He also filed a case and as a consequence, Shriram fertilizers was closed. And he also urged the government at that time in the year 1986 that at school and university level, there must be some chapters, some teaching in the regular school curriculum about environment, environmental ethics that the day today we are discussing, and other aspects associated with environment. But this is our country. He fought for that case, and ultimately in the year 2003, that is after 17 years, Supreme Court uh, issued an order to NCRT for school level, UGC for higher education level to frame policy framework for the incorporation of these environmental aspects into formal school curriculum. But it was of no use. Then year 2016, So the journey started from 86 and now it is 2016. The court issued final warning to both the bodies, otherwise their funding would be stopped from the central government. As a consequence of this, in the year 2017, we had to, or we were bound to, develop regular curriculum for teaching of a special paper, environmental education. Its name was to be kept as environmental education for Bachelor of Education course as well as for Master of Education course. It was a compulsory paper. Is a compulsory paper for all students. It's not optional one. Similarly, at school level, we had to incorporate certain things about environment in social sciences, etc. So thanks to Mr. M.C. Mehta ji, by virtue of him, we are studying this, exploring this topic, environmental ethics today, because he had sensitized the word for this. So what is ethics? What is environment? And what are environmental ethics? Let us probe. That is anything in the form of question that uh, reflects our interaction with the environment. How do we interact with the environment? The moment at which we get awakened and the moment at which we fall asleep, that is throughout day, how do we interact? And sorry to say, during this interaction with the environment, we destroy the environment. Nobody takes care of the environment. As said earlier, development and environmental conservation can't go side by side. If you are going to develop airports, highways, expressways, and these thing and that thing, certainly you will compromise the environment. So be ready to face the music, that is landsliding or erosion or any flooding or this climate change, because we can't survive without air conditioner. That is a sign of environmental climate change. Summer timings have changed. Winter has shrinked. Summers are going harsher and harsher. So these are the reflections of climate change because of our negative impact on the environment. So describes human environment interaction refers to anyways, how do we influence the environment? How in turn we are influenced by the environment. For example, this year, it has been guessed by our meteorological department that there will be high rainfall in monsoon season rather than the last year because of the El Nino effect, a cyclone that is still persistent and that is leading to high tidal waves in Pacific Ocean. Do you remember? Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean, these are the influence ocean of this El Nino. That's why effect will be seen here also. So whatever we'll sow, so shall we reap. Ethical basis of environmental discussion, they lead to the formation of basis of environmental protection. What is ethics? Ethics means what is good, what is bad. Decide this, but on a measure of priority. Because things may be good today, they may prove fatal tomorrow, and vice versa. Certainly, the moral relationship of humans to value and moral status of the environment and its non-human content, because there are certain creatures other than us who also share this earth. तो खुदा का ये कहना है कि मैं सिर्फ तुम्हारी ही दुनिया का खुदा नहीं हूँ, मैं उनका भी खुदा हूँ जो तेरी तरह बोल नहीं सकते। तो इस तरह से जो नॉन ह्यूमन्स हैं, पशु हैं, वो उनकी भी दुनिया का खुदा है, ईश्वर है, मालिक है, उसने उन्हें भी बनाया है। हम क्यों उसके ऊपर कब्जा कर डालें? ठीक है, मनुष्य एक बड़ा भाई हो सकता है इनका, इसका फर्ज बनता है कि इनके लिए कुछ देखे करे, लेकिन ये नहीं कि इनके जो हिस्से की जमी आई है उसे भी खा जाए। सो मॉरल रिलेशनशिप दैट मैटर्स हियर, that is who others other than you share this earth. Also think about them. So don't think about like anthropocentrism. I will dwell upon this also. Environmental, what is the need of environmental ethics? That is, what's the rationality? First of all, to be aware of the indiscriminate and destructive human activities. Just like this pandemic that we face, the best phase of this universe, of this earth. Okay, it was due to a biological weapon that was destructively used by China. We can't say that somebody ate infested bats, that was a rumor, and led to the spread of coronavirus. No, it was not so. Things have established that it was use of biological weapons to test this, test its efficacy. The result is before you. To instill moral values towards nature and learn to respect various life forms. Respect the nature, love the nature, honor the nature, contribute towards the nature. Do you know why the tribal community are surviving are better than us because they take from the nature whatever is to be needed and they return it as such. They don't use it for future purpose. That's why we say old is gold, but no, old is always gold. Their primitive practices is still flourishing. They are surviving well. Can you imagine in the year 2001 when we have infamous tsunami in Andaman Nicobar Island? But still, Jarawa Janjati and other tribes were able to survive. But rest of the Port Blair was destroyed because how did they survive? They knew how to survive, and still they know how to keep themselves away from this other ill effects of this modern world. Corona didn't touch them. Will you believe this? Government of India had an aerial inspection. हेलीकॉप्टर से उस आइलैंड का इंस्पेक्शन किया गया था और वहां देखा कुछ इफेक्ट्स तो नहीं देख रहे, कोई बीमार तो नहीं पड़ा है. दे कुड नॉट फाइंड इट एंड अल्टीमेटली इट वाज डिक्लेयर्ड एज ए safe island. See how do they practice? Third is to be concerned with the issue of responsible personal conduct in a society. आप कैसे रहते हैं एक जगह पर, दूसरों के लिए आप क्या सोचते हैं, what do you think about others, what is your personal conduct? We keep our home and house clean, neat, but what about my neighbors, what about rest of the society? I don't care of them. So that is my personal conduct. To question the human race about certain key factors which are associated with environmental issues. The certain key factors are pollution as well as population that I have discussed with you. Now look at these pics. You can see what are the environmental issues at a glance. You can see deforestation on your left-hand side. Topper side, you can see cutting off trees. Middle pic shows as melting of these poles. Last is forest fire. Certainly, by this way or that way, today or tomorrow, here or there, we come to know about these bad news. Then environmental issues, types of environmental issues. Sorry, you can see here, pollution. What is pollution? Pollution means harm of the environment. वातावरण का नुकसान, harm of the environment due to activities of human beings. That's it. मनुष्य की क्रियाकलापों से ही वातावरण की जो हानि होती है उसे प्रदूषण कहते हैं. The types that shows primarily majorly is water, air, land. Global warming is the consequence. Ozone layer depletion, deforestation, fine, loss of biodiversity. Most of the bird species are red, endangered. They are in the eloping zone. Depletion of non-renewable resources. We are cutting the forests. We are using the metals like uranium for preparing atom bomb. Even Iran has threatened to prepare its own atom bomb. Ukraine-like countries have threatened. So from where they will develop these atom bombs? Certainly through uranium. So this is also leading to depletion of these resources. Climate change, rise in sea levels. That earlier I said that because of El Nino effects, the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans are suffering. You can see high tides, always high tides in these oceans. So what is this, all this? The virtue of all this, the cause of all this, the mother of all these ill things is human activities. So what can be done? Let us think now. That is, number one, list the damage caused by us. Let us do an enlisting for us. To immediate of my society, to immediate of my city, to immediate of my nation, and to immediate of my continent, to immediate of my earth. जस्ट अपने घर में पौधे लगा लेने से और एक डॉग को पाल लेने से हम कोई एनवायरनमेंट फ्रेंडली नहीं होते. हमारी बहुत सी एक्टिविटीज हैं जिनको हम एनवायरनमेंट डैमेज करते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, वी टीच अबाउट कंजर्वेशन ऑफ एनर्जी रिसोर्सेज, ऊर्जा का संरक्षण, to 6th class student, 7th class student, 10th class. Then why we have to, even in university, have to write on the switchboards, please switch off the fan, switch off the fan and light when you leave the room. यानी एक पढ़े लिखे आदमी को बताना पड़ रहा है कि कमरे में जाने से पहले, बाहर कमरे से बाहर जाने से पहले आप बटन ऑफ करके जाएं. अपने घर के लिए हम ऐसा कहीं लिखते हैं? वहां तक अंडरस्टूड बात है. लेकिन स्कूल कॉलेज के लिए ऐसा क्यों होता है कि हमें बोर्ड पे लिखना पड़ता है? ये पढ़े लिखों की इंस्टीट्यूशन की निशानी है. दैट मीन्स वी डोंट केयर ऑफ दिस. एंड यू कैन frequently see that the fans and lights are switched on and no classes. Their students have gone outside to library or to any other place. That means even if you write it there, it is of no use. I frequently find garbages, dust, and they use Pepsi glasses and plates, etc., thrown here and there, though the dustbin is just few yards away. This is a situation of an educational institution. What should I complain about other people? Why do we have to announce in every time in Delhi metro, other city metro, कि कृपया पहले उतरने वालों को आने की जगह दीजिए, फिर उसमें आप आए? Isn't it understood? The person who will leave the room will leave the space for you. At that time, the person is leaving and you are entering. Wouldn't it lead to chaos? तो पढ़े लिखे ही ज्यादा डैमेज करते हैं। हम हमेशा गिला शिकवा करते हैं, ताना मारते हैं कि अनपढ़ लोगों ने ऐसा किया है। नहीं, ये पढ़े लिखों ने ऐसा किया है। So kindly think over this. What acts must be given to slow such damage? Okay, you can't shun the damages, you can't overcome the damage. How can you minimize the damage? Kindly reflect on this. हम अपने घरों में पालतू जानवरों को पालते हैं। ये याद रखिए कि इनकी अपब्रिंगिंग, इनका जन्म मनुष्य के घरों में रहने को नहीं हुआ है, ये जंगलों में रहने की आदत है इनकी। कोई जस्ट लाइक पैरट, डॉग, कैट। पैरट जैसे बर्ड जिनको उड़ने की एक शक्ति मिली है, हमने उसे ही खत्म कर डाला और पिंजरे में कैद कर डाला। हमने उनकी ताकत छीन ली। जितने भी वाइल्ड डॉग, पिटबुल्स हैं, ये नेचर में रहने के आदी हैं, हमारे यहाँ रहने के आदी नहीं है। तभी ये एक दिक्कत ये भी आ रही है, क्यों ये चिड़चिड़े हो जाते हैं, क्यों हमला कर देते हैं? क्योंकि हम नेचर से उठा के इन्हें अपने घर में लेकर के आ गए, जस्ट फॉर आवर शो ऑफ, एटसेट्रा। The dilemma, where do we stand? We are well aware that we can cause permanent damage to natural landscape resources and ecosystem. पता है हमें, इस धरती को हम कई बार नष्ट कर सकते हैं हाइड्रोजन बॉम्ब से, एटम बॉम्ब से। We are also aware that we can restrict our needs. अगर हम अपनी आय पर आ जाएं तो ठीक है, हम अपनी सीमा आंक लेंगे कि हमें क्या चाहिए। चाहे गवर्नमेंट इसमें एस्मा भी लगा सकती है, लाइक इन दिल्ली we have odd even policy also. However, it was of not so much of use though it was expected. We also are aware that how can we prevent the damage? How can we have a plan B for our original action plan? So all the things we are aware. The only thing is lack of willpower to implement this. Environmental damage has been mostly caused by this: air pollution, water pollution that I discussed with you, land pollution, depletion of resources. That we are going to harness the resources, but in a negative term, in a negative sense. We are overusing them, we are exploiting them, and hence leading to its depletion, like fishing. We are going to overfish an area. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आप देखते होंगे कि हमेशा भारत के मछुआरे ही श्रीलंका में पकड़े जाते हैं, कभी पढ़िएगा न्यूज़पेपर में। और श्रीलंका के थोड़े से, श्रीलंका तो कभी आते ही नहीं है। उसका कारण क्या है कि हमने इतनी ओवर फिशिंग कर दी है तमिलनाडु के एरिया में कि हम करते करते सीमा बॉर्डर पार कर जाते हैं, इंटरनेशनल सी बॉर्डर, और उनकी पकड़ में हम आ जाते हैं। और श्रीलंका ने भी इस बात की भारत की शिकायत की है कि आपके थोड़े से मछुआरे ही हम पकड़ पा रहे हैं, अधिकतर हम आपके नहीं पकड़ पा रहे। यानी वो हमारे हिस्से की फिशेज ले जाते हैं, तो नतीजा हमारे देश के लोगों का प्रोटीन कंटेंट प्लेट में कम हो गया है। यानी हमारे देश में जो पहले 17 ग्राम प्रोटीन मिलता था एक व्यक्ति को खाने को फिश से, अब वो 11 ग्राम हो गया है आपकी वजह से। और यूएनओ तक में हमारी कंप्लेंट हो चुकी है, क्योंकि हमने अपना तो छोड़िए, पड़ोसियों के घर का भी हमने शुरू कर दिया है। पाकिस्तान के अंदर भी बहुत बड़ी संख्या में हमारे मछुआरे पकड़े हैं, और वो तो सुनते ही नहीं है किसी की। भारत और श्रीलंका में तो फिर आदान प्रदान हो जाता है, मगर भारत और पाकिस्तान में किसी खास मौके 15 अगस्त पे या कोई उनका कोई लीडर आएगा तब होगा तो होगा, वरना जीरो पॉलिसी है। सो क्यों हम ऐसा कर रहे हैं? रिसोर्स डिप्लीशन। तो जैसा हम कर रहे हैं फिर मामला पॉलिटिकल बनता जा रहा है। डिप्लीशन ऑफ स्पीशीज एंड हैबिट्स, इसके अंदर फिशिंग की बात की गई है, जिसके अंदर एक स्टाइल की फिशिंग होती है कि पूरा बॉटम पे ये रख दिया जाता है उनका ट्रॉला। दे कीप द ट्रॉला, फिशिंग ट्रॉला एट द बॉटम ऑफ द सी, दैट इज सी बेड, और ऐसे खींच के लाते हैं कि जो प्लैंकटॉन्स हैं, प्लांट्स हैं, वो भी उखड़ के आ जाते हैं। यानी सही चीज तो पकड़ में आई जो चाहिए थी, जो नहीं चाहिए था वो भी आ गया, तो नतीजा सी बेड वहां बंजर हो गया है, बिल्कुल जैसे बैरन होता है रेगिस्तान की तरह। इस पर भी बैन लगा दिया गया है यूएनओ की तरफ से। इवन हमारे शिप्स जाते हैं ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड, ये कार्गो शिप्स जाते हैं, इसकी पॉलिसी है कि आप जो ऑयल वेस्ट होगा, क्रूड ऑयल आप वेस्ट होगा, आप उसे समुद्र में नहीं फेंकेंगे। आप जब दूसरे किनारे पे पहुंच जाएंगे, वहां किनारे पर फेंक दिया जाएगा और उसका एनालिसिस होगा कि आपकी इस जर्नी से कितना ऑयल बनना चाहिए था और आपने कितना फेंका है। अगर कम निकला तो आप समुद्र में फेंक के आए हैं और उसकी जमानत नहीं है। हमारे 3 शिप्स स्वीडन और 2 यूरोपियन कंट्री की पकड़ में है अभी भी वहां पर। सॉरी, स्वीडन नहीं है, दूसरी आपकी यूएस की उसमें आए हुए हैं। कि जब वो वहां पहुंचे थे तो उनका वो उतना क्रूड ऑयल नहीं निकला जितना होना चाहिए था। तो इसका मतलब है कि पानी में बहा दिया गया है और इसकी बेल नहीं है। तो क्यों हम ऐसा कर रहे हैं कि डिप्लीशन भी कर रहे हैं और जो अपनी जर्नी कर रहे हैं उसका भी डिप्लीशन कर रहे हैं। सो वी नीड टू थिंक अबाउट दिस, वेयर वी आर हेडिंग। Principles of environmental ethics, that one should have love and respect for nature. We respect our officers, we respect our students, but we love our parents. And if I love my parents, certainly I respect them. Fine. But if I respect a person, I may not love the person. So there is a need to develop a spirit. So that's why I have written love first and then respect. Because if you love, respect will automatically come. So kindly love the nature. We are dog lovers, certainly, but are we human lovers? Question mark. हम अपने घर में अपने बुजुर्गों और बच्चों को अच्छी तरह से ध्यान देते हैं उनकी तरफ? वी आर डॉग लवर्स, वी आर ह्यूमन लवर्स, आर वी नेचर लवर्स? जब एक जंगल में रहने वाला जीव हम अपने घर में ले आए, हम किस बात के फिर लवर हैं? नेचर की चीज नेचर में रहे, समाज की चीज समाज में रहे। वाई वी आर फेसिंग क्राइसिस इन रणथंबोर? You can imagine that tigers are coming to the entry gate of the Ranthambore Park. Why? The plausible reasons are two. Number one, over occupancy of Ranthambore Park by human activity or humans, or too much tiger population in the area. These are the two plausible reasons. Last week it happened, 2, 3 tigers were seen nearby entry gate, and as a consequence of this, the guards were kept on their duty, were keeping bullets and rifles in a switch on mode. Similarly, in Kerala, you will see the animals, especially the elephants, come on the road and destroy the shops, houses, even they kill the person. For what reason? Because we humans are entering into their zones. That's why they will come out of their zones. And hence, as a consequence of this, the Kerala government had to amend their laws. That is, Wildlife Act has been converted into forest law. Wildlife Act has been converted into forest law. That means, as per Wildlife Act, no animal could be killed. If anybody kills the animal, the person will be behind the bar. But as per forest law, if a person kills the animal, like elephant, then there will be a probe investigation. And if the person is found innocent that the animal attacked the human, that's why the person had to kill the animal, so the human would be released. But in Wildlife Act, under any circumstances, if animal is killed, then the human will be held responsible. That why did you enter into their zone? So that is this thing. Similarly, in this uh, Pondicherry, there is a famous temple. There was there was an elephantess, Mahalakshmi. She was 25 years old and she died in the year 2022, 2 3 years ago, because of heart attack. Do you know what was the reason for her death? She had to stand before the temple gate for 16 hours a day, fine, on concrete surface. But in wildlife, they move on soil bed, they take a bath in water. But in concrete, on a concrete surface, the temperature is high. They have to stand throughout. They have to keep their weight on their own 4 legs. As a consequence of this, she developed osteoporosis, just like humans, and ultimately decline of her health. And someday she died. So why don't we keep the animals where do they belong? That is nature. Why do we bring to our their society, our own society, our own homes? So kindly think over this. One must maintain a harmonious relationship with other species on this earth, just like for our own purpose, amusement. कि एक होना चाहिए हमारे पास भी एक animal. Why this? Keep them where they belong and let them enjoy their own world, because they have also a right to enjoy this world. So everyone should take responsibility of his or action. Local and indigenous environmental knowledge should be respected, like how to keep the things cool. For example, we use refrigerator here that leads to emission of carbon dioxide, okay, and other gaseous content. But in certain tribal areas, what do the people do? Or in our rural area, people use ghada, surahi, pitcher. Even nowadays also keep their water cool, which is an old practice and good for health also. So respect it. We as global citizen must plan for the long term. That is not as an Indian citizen or Asian citizen or Delhiites or anything else. It's a global word. We are sharing a spirit of brotherhood. So as a global citizen, think about others, what they will bring to you. For example, in Australia, when I visited last year, will you believe this? They checked our surface of our shoes that I was wearing. Even they inspected our clothes also, that in any form of dust am I not bringing to them. किसी तरह की dust तो नहीं आ रही है उनकी country में, and they are very particular about this. So see how sensitive are they, because in the form of dust the person can bring infection to their country. If you visit Kenya, the famous place where great migration of wild species takes place, one of the 7 natural wonders. We are in the grip of those old wonders of the world, Taj Mahal and his Babylon ke garden and so on, Misr pyramid and so on. But there are things that have been uh, developed by nature. One of them is great migration of wild beasts. I won't deliberate on this so much, but I just given you the name. You can explore this on internet also. In Kenya, when you enter, you should produce a certificate of negative report of yellow fever. The certificate should not be older than 10 days, because they believe if you enter into your Masai Mara project, Masai Mara, Masai is the name of a tribe and Mara is the name of a river. So there you can find a miracle on this earth to see the animals in their natural habitat. So if you visit them, you should not bring the yellow fever virus with you. So behave like a global citizen to enjoy this beautiful earth. That's the main thing. So ethical values for pollution control. First of all, understand your moral duties, what you are doing. For example, having a car, four-wheeler has become a status symbol. If there are 4 members in a family, we should have 4 cars in our family. That's it. Kindly come out of this. Why don't you use carpool for that? Why don't we use public transport like metro for that one? I visited Taiwan, Hong Kong. Will you believe that even government officers of their country were using this metro or any public transport? And even in Taiwan, you can't overtake the vehicle, only for ambulance and only for minister. If the minister is going to parliament, only then you can overtake, otherwise not. Otherwise, there are CCTVs. You just go 100 meters away, you will get a flash on your mobile phone that you violated this norm, and this much is the challan, and this much amount has been deducted from your bank account. That's it. So stringent laws are there, and that's why the whole country is following the true traffic rules. Everybody is on time. Now you can understand our situation. कार चलाते हुए मन में अगर कोई बिना गुस्सा करे हो, गाली दिए हो, घर तक आ जाए, मान जाएंगे उसको, क्योंकि हम लोग रूल तोड़ते हैं। हाँ, हम मुझे जल्दी है, सामने वाले की चिंता नहीं। Developing nation people think about themselves. Developed nation people think about others. If I'm a person of developing nation, I will be concerned with myself only. मेरा काम ठीक होना चाहिए. But if I am a person of developed nation, I will think about others कि मेरी वजह से किसी को नुकसान नहीं होना चाहिए. So nothing resides in infrastructure or building of any nation to be a developed nation. It is the mindset of the people that determines your status developing versus developed nations. So usefulness of non-human word like animal word for our purposes must be respected. हमने किसी को छोड़ा नहीं है. Like in Chinese philosophy, do you know what do they can eat if they go for fishing in sea? They only don't touch with the rocks of the sea. Otherwise, whatever animal they get, creature they get, they trap it and come back, because they assume that everything on this planet is for humans. So let us have them. So you can see them eating whatever you can imagine. So it should not be there. वो कहा ना कि खुदा वो हमारा ही नहीं है, वो उनकी दुनिया का भी खुदा है जो बोल नहीं सकते हैं कि मेरा खुदा ये है. Humans have no right to reduce the resource richness. We don't have any unsaid right. If you go on cutting the trees, we'll bear the consequences. The animal will come to our civilization, they will destroy our life. Why do you see snake bites in UP, Bihar, in monsoon region or so crop cutting season? Why do you see a hike in snake bites? because we go on cutting the crops, we go on sowing the fields in their area, they come out of their bills and then see the consequences. So as we shall sow, so shall we reap. So ethical values beside this means proper utilization of resources must be there, voluntary measures should be there. So must imagine that what kind of world we are living for our future generation. These are the moral agents. You can see it's a pick of a crowd. So everybody is a moral agent, male, female, irrespective of racism, regionalism. कोई भी है, स्त्री पुरुष किसी भी क्षेत्र से हैं, वो मॉरल एजेंट्स हैं. So those who have the freedom and rational capacity to be responsible for their choice. That is, you must be capable of moral reflection and decision. So any adult, but with a sound mind. ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि मेरे करने से क्या हो जाएगा, या चलता है, या हमें क्या फर्क पड़ता है. ऐसा नहीं. That doesn't show you have a sound mind. If you see a switch on in front of you of a government building, if you see a tap is flowing unnecessarily, you should switch off the button, or you should tighten the tap so that it is not wasted. It is the sign of a sound. So infants and mentally infirm adults are not moral agents. You can't imagine an infant of few months to be a moral agent, or similarly for a mentally infirm person. So you see, rest of the world is moral agent. Then moral standing, that we should have a hand-holding attitude for each other and together for environment. तो पहले तो एक दूसरे के लिए moral attitude रखें, फिर environment के लिए रखें मिल करके. If an individual has moral standing, then irrespective of her gender, that is his or her continued existence is valuable in itself. So if you have moral standing, throughout journey of your life will be respected. It will be valuable because you will contribute up to your last breath. That is your intrinsic value. Your interest will be weighed when deciding what is permissible to do. So whenever there will be some policy framing, decision making, your interest would be counted because you are a person who morally stands for the environment. So all humans are there, women, different races, all people are there. What are your moral duties for the environment? That is, which is owed by moral agents to those with moral standing. We are moral agents, or we are a person with moral standings that need to be reflected. So these are our moral duties that must be preferred, that must be given preference. That is through our moral standing. So it is wrong to beat our children because we make them to be a good person. It's unethical. So respect them. There can be certain ways to correct them. So don't fulfill your moral duties at the cost of another moral standing. Then after that, philosophical issues concerned with environmental ethics. That is, who has moral standing and why. That is, what is the quest for these moral standing? What is the criteria for moral standing? How should I reflect that? Am I a person who has moral standing, and so on? What moral duty do we together have towards those with moral standing? So you can see this fall of water in the form of waterfall that is leading to series of thoughts. Extend moral standing for other animals on the planet. That is, you are shaking hand in hand with them. You are giving them love, but please keep them at their own place. अक्सर हम कबूतरों को भी दाना डालते हैं, पिजन्स को चौराहों पर गाड़ी रोक रोक करके लोग डालते हैं, और इतना डाल देते हैं कि वो बेचारे उतना खाते भी नहीं. वैसे इससे डिजीज भी होती है हमें लंग्स की. तो अगर पक्षियों को कोई दाना डालना है, बाजरा डालना है, तो उन जगहों पे डालिए जहाँ कोई नहीं डालता, बनिस्बत इसके कि जहाँ पूरा शहर डालता है. तो आपके 4 दाना डालने से कोई पुण्य आपको नहीं मिल जाएगा. वहां डालिए जहाँ जरूरत है. तो थोड़ा सा समझिए एथिक्स क्या है. मूव एज पर नीड्स, जरूरत के मुताबिक मूव कीजिए. देन anthropocentrism, as the picture shows that man is at the center of the universe, rest of the world or universe at his own toes. ये गलत है. So anthropocentrism से avoid कीजिए. We have ecocentrism, that is environment is the center. We have theocentrism when God is at the center, and we have anthropocentrism when man is at the center. So पहले थोड़ा सा इसको देखेंगे. One can best protect nature by looking what are your exact human needs. कितना चाहिए. वही बात है कि रोटी, कपड़ा और मकान उतना ही तो चाहिए. लेकिन अब रोटी अगर सोने की प्लेट में चाहिए, घर अगर जरा 3,000 स्क्वायर फीट का चाहिए, उसमें स्विमिंग पूल भी हो, और बस एंडलेस डिमांड्स हैं, तो तभी मैंने इसके अंदर ये कहा कि जरा सोचिए कि कितना हमें चाहिए। तो सोचो कि साथ क्या जाएगा, तो उतना ही लीजिए जितनी जरूरत है, और भली तरीके से हम जिए। सो वुड यू ब्लो अप द वर्ल्ड इफ यू आर द लास्ट ह्यूमन ऑन दिस अर्थ? एंथ्रोपोसेंट्रिज्म रेजेस अ क्वेश्चन। क्या आप इस दुनिया को ही नष्ट कर देंगे अगर आप इसके आखिरी आदमी हो तो? क्योंकि हमारी एक ईगो भी तो होती है। स्टूअर्डशिप, a sense of responsibility to manage and care for the environment, कि जितना लिया उतना दिया। जैसे दिल्ली मेट्रो करती है, अगर एक पेड़ काटती है तो 10 सैपलिंग लगाती है। अभी एक साउथ में एक वनजीवी मित्र, उनकी डेथ हुई है, ही वॉज अराउंड 80, और अभी उन्होंने अपने डेथ तक से पहले 1 करोड़ सैपलिंग लगाए थे। उन्हें पद्मश्री का भी अवार्ड मिला था। तो ये इस तरह की पर्सनैलिटी भी हमारे यहाँ पर हैं, जो जिन्होंने एनवायरनमेंट के लिए काम किया है। स्टीवर्डशिप वर्सेस मोरल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, दैट मोरल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इज नथिंग मोर देन आवर कैपेसिटी एबिलिटी टू बी ह्यूमन। अगर हम मनुष्य बन करके भी रहें, ये भी बहुत है। और उस मनुष्य बनने का अर्थ ये है कि हम किसी का नुकसान नहीं कर रहे, अपने हिस्से की जिंदगी, अपनी टेरिटरी, अपने जोन, अपनी ट्रेजेक्टरी में जी रहे हैं। एंड शुड बी एबल टू टेक केयर ऑफ एवरीथिंग अराउंड अस, कि जैसे एक बड़ा भाई छोटे भाइयों की रक्षा करता है, उसी तरह से हम रखें कि हमारे होते इन्हें कुछ नहीं होना चाहिए। क्राइटेरिया ऑफ मोरल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, ये कुछ चेकलिस्ट्स है। डज द पर्सन हैव नॉलेज ऑफ द कंसिक्वेंसेज ऑफ हिज और एक्ट? हम जो कर रहे हैं उसका हमें नतीजा पता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, वी आर डेवलपिंग ए प्लास्टिक वर्ल्ड। आप फंक्शन में जाते हैं, हमें 250 ml की एक बोतल मिल जाती है, वाटर बॉटल पीने को, हम पानी पी लेते हैं, और 3-4 बोतल तो कोई वैसे ही पी जाता है। हमने इतना प्लास्टिक जनरेट किया। सोचिए जरा, प्लास्टिक क्या है मुझे बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है। प्लास्टिक के ग्लास मिलते हैं, प्लास्टिक प्लास्टिक लगा हुआ है। एक प्लास्टिक फ्री वर्ड भी हम बना देना अगर, तब भी बहुत है। सो ग्रीन वर्ड की कल्पना कीजिए। सो हमें अपने काम का कंसीक्वेंस का पता होना चाहिए कि इसका अंजाम क्या है। डज द पर्सन हैव द स्किल्स टू डू दैट? क्या उस एक्ट को करने के लिए, सही कर तरीके से करने के लिए स्किल्स हैं हमारे पास, कि डैमेज कम से कम हो? और दूसरा, एक प्लान भी है आपके पास कि अगर ये काम ऐसे नहीं करना, तो दूसरा इसका प्लान भी है कि हाँ, इससे एनवायरनमेंट का डैमेज मिनिमम होगा। आप कभी देखिए हिमाचल प्रदेश, उत्तरांचल के अंदर, अब उत्तरांचल के अंदर भी ये हुआ है कि गवर्नमेंट ने होम स्टे बना दिया है। ठीक है, एक एंडलेस पॉपुलेशन की एम्प्लॉयमेंट की समस्या तो हल हो जाएगी और हम बड़े खुश हो जाएंगे। लेकिन पहाड़ के घरों को हम एक होटल की तरह बना रहे हैं, जिसमें वो ट्रैवलर आकर के वाईफाई भी चाहिए, क्योंकि उसने ब्लॉग बनाने हैं, रील बनानी है, वहाँ की कल्चर को भी पॉल्यूट करेगा, प्लास्टिक भी यूज करेगा, वो स्विगी के भी ऑर्डर देगा खाने के लिए। तो फिर वो पहाड़ पहाड़ तो नहीं रह जाएगा ना। तो थोड़ा सा देखिए हम किधर जाते जा रहे हैं। हमें इन बातों के अंजाम भी मालूम है, ये बात है। Another is biocentric, that is life-centered morality, that is all living things other than humans should occupy equal space that like a man। अब इस पिक को ही देखिए, इस पूरी पिक में मनुष्य भी इन पशुओं के साथ, पेड़ पौधों के साथ है। That is biocentric. So humans are not superior, not privileged. They must respect other organisms on this earth also. So eat what you deserve. बेसिक क्वेश्चन है कि हम मनुष्य शाकाहारी हैं या मांसाहारी हैं? ये सवाल उठता है। आप मुझे ये बताइए कि टाइगर, लॉयन जैसे मांसाहारी जीव पानी कैसे पीते हैं? वो जीभ से पानी पीते हैं, कभी गौर से देखिए। मगर शाकाहारी जीव जैसे गाय है, वो पानी कैसे पीती है? वो पूरे होठ लगा करके, मुंह लगा के पानी पीती है। अब आप मुझे बता दीजिए, हम कैसे पानी पीते हैं? हम जीभ लपलपा के पानी पीते हैं, या पानी के ग्लास को मुंह लगा कर पीते हैं? फैसला कर लीजिए कि हमारी मूल प्रकृति शाकाहार की ही है, और टेस्ट के लिए हम नॉन वेजिटेरियन की तरफ अट्रैक्ट हो गए, वरना मूल प्रकृति। दूसरा, दांत देखिए, टीथ। एक शेर, टाइगर, लेपर्ड, इनके टीथ देखिए कितने नुकीले होते हैं, मगर एक गाय के दांत देखिए कैसे चपटे होते हैं। और अपने भी दांत देखिए, वो कैसे हमारे एक लाइन में आ रहे होते हैं। हमारे दांत उतने नुकीले तो नहीं होते जितने मांसाहारी जीवों के होते हैं। तो इससे भी पता लगता है कि हमारी जो बनाने वाले ने स्ट्रक्चर बनाई है, वो शाकाहार की ही बनाई है। तो इस तरीके से भी देखिए कि आप एक लाइफ सेंटर्ड एस्पेक्ट कैसे जी सकते हैं। होलिज्म, ईगो वर्सेस इको। ईगो के अंदर तो आदमी टॉप पर है, इको के अंदर आदमी सबके साथ मिलकर रह रहा है। पिक्चर दिखा रही है आपको। सो नो, नॉन इंडिविजुअल्स, दैट इज अदर देन अस, हैव मॉरल स्टैंडिंग, उनकी भी वैल्यू उसमें उतनी है जितनी कि हमारी या प्लांट्स हैं, अदर एनिमल्स हैं। इंडिविजुअल मस्ट बी कंसर्न्ड अबाउट द होल कम्युनिटी ऑफ लाइफ, पूरी नेचर को देखिए, उनके लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल रहना, दैट इज इकोसेंट्रिक होलिज्म। वी आर एट द सेंटर ऑफ द इकोसिस्टम एज ह्यूमंस लाइक अदर्स। देन ecofeminism, yes, that's very much, that is, sorry to say, we are this is patriarchy in and around the world also. We unnecessarily dominate अदर इवन ऑफ अवर होम सोसाइटी आल्सो, हम अपने समाज के ही लोगों में महिलाओं को हम डोमिनेट करते हैं। इस टेंडेंसी को भी खत्म कीजिए। इससे क्या होगा, एक हैंड होल्डिंग एटीट्यूड होगा दोनों जेंडर के बीच में, और वो एनवायरनमेंट को वो कंजर्व करेंगी। और याद रखिए, चैरिटी बिगिंस एट होम। अगर घर में ही हम इक्वालिटी का दर्जा दे रहे हैं, तभी तो नेचर के अंदर भी इक्वालिटी का दर्जा होगा। घर में डोमिनेंस है तो नेचर में भी डोमिनेंस है। तो इस पावर रिलेशनशिप को खत्म कीजिए इसके अंदर, रादर देन एक्सेप्टेंस के रिलेशन को प्रारंभ कीजिए। कोई भी रिलेशन एक्सेप्टेंस से ही शुरू होता है और एक्सेप्टेंस पे ही खत्म होता है। जिस दिन टॉलरेंस आ जाती है उस रिश्ते में, बस समझिए उसकी रिलेशन की उल्टी गिनती शुरू हो गई कि आई एम टॉलरेटिंग यू, आई एम नॉट एक्सेप्टिंग यू। सेम इज विद नेचर आल्सो, एक्सेप्ट अदर्स, एक्सेप्ट अदर प्लान एनिमल्स, plants in and around your nation, city, home, etc. So last I will like to say, what do you do to save the world today? क्या किया जाए? प्लांटेशन, पौधे लगा दें, अवेयरनेस कर दें एजुकेशन की, जैसे एमसी मेहता जी ने की। लॉ रेगुलेशन रखें कि अगर आपने ऐसा किया तो आपको ऐसा दंड मिलेगा। और व्हाट एल्स? प्लीज थिंक एंड रीथिंक। दिस इज माय सबमिशन टू यू। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful session. And thank you so much, all the participants. Now, the chat box is open to the questions if you have any regarding the session. So, all the participants, if you have any questions regarding the session, or if you would like to ask anything from Mr. Ahuja, you can drop it in the chat box. We just have positive feedback about you, sir. It's just the positive feedback, sir. So I believe we can move on
मैं
to
अगर
conclude the session here. Yes, sir.
थैंक यू सो मच, ये आ रहा है तो मैं भी सबको थैंक यू कह देता हूँ।
All right. So thank you all the active participation that all the participants had shown for this insightful session with Mr. Ahuja. His practical strategies and thought-provoking ideas have surely sparked fresh perspectives to enrich the classroom teaching. A heartfelt thank you to Dr. Ahuja for generously sharing his expertise, experiences, and all the insights with us. Your session was both enlightening and empowering as well. To all the participants, for the certificates, please wait till Monday. You will be receiving a feedback link on your registered email address, after filling which you will receive your certificates also. And please make sure that you are also joining in at 4:30 p.m. for another insightful session, making social science engaging and concept driven. We are going to take a short break, join back again, and we are hope to inspire you again. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Akriti, just one thing.
Yes, sir.
Some people have asked for my mobile number also. मैंने
Okay.
मोबाइल नंबर डाल दिया है चैट बॉक्स में अभी।
Okay, sir.
दिस इज, आई विल से, कुछ लोगों ने कहा है तो 9904934442, इट इज देयर इन द चैट बॉक्स, पीपल कैन सी। ठीक है।
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, all the participants. We'll see you at 4:30 p.m. Thank you.